Hello, my name's Katie and welcome to my shed. It's Saturday afternoon, later start than normal because we had a late kick-off for football, and I decided that before football I would do my Tesco shop rather than come and hang out in the shed. I've got the garden cat lounging on the carpet. Would you like to show off? No. Garden cat. Let's go. No, he does not want to be in the camera today. So this week I have done something a little bit different, mainly because last week's video you'll have seen was very, very long, and I don't think you want two really long ones back to back, but maybe you do, let me know. When I first started doing this channel, I remember saying that I was going to show you some of my previous artwork and just sort of talk you through my journey of how I've got to where I have. So I thought I would record that this week, and I've broken it down into three. It's going to be 3 videos. They're not going to be back to back because I think I'll get bored doing them. Oh, look at that. Oh, when will I learn not to wear clothes alike in the shed? Anyway, sorry, that was an aside. What was I saying? So yeah, I'm going to do 3 videos. The first one that I'll do, so this week's video is going to be looking at my landscape paintings. So I have broken that down into 3 types of paintings, so printmaking, and then pastel paintings, and my acrylic and oil paintings. I just thought I haven't included the one there, but let's see. Look, include this one in the shots. It's not all of my paintings, it's basically all the ones that are sitting in my storage drawers waiting for me to either decide to finish them, frame them, sell them, or put them on my wall. So that's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to go from here now to not future me, past me, and I'll go through that with you, and then we'll come back and do a bit of reflection. So I wasn't sure whether to put this one in or not, because I guess it's birds, but I feel like it's more landscape than it is birds. Excuse the reflection of me and the rest of the room in it. This one is a silkscreen print with some blends for like the grass and the sky here, and then all with hand cut stencils. You can see it and get a bit of detail without seeing too much of me. And it's of the cemetery, Newmarket, and the view from there. I think that one's more landscape than bird, although there are quite a lot of birds. And I was going to show you this one, which is not really a landscape, but it's more landscape than it is birds. And that's, oh gosh, how do I really need to work out how to do better photography without getting reflections in. If I get close you can see, so okay, I'm going to brave it. I'm going to have a look through here. There is all sorts of stuff in here, and not all of it is landscape, so I'm going to pull it out and sort through it, and then I'll show you what I've got. Okay, I haven't got many prints in like landscape images, but this one, I don't even remember when I was tidying up my shed, I said there was a hand printing press that I'd got, and this was what I did when I was doing that. So this was done with a wood block, multi-layers, and this is of Blakely Point in Norfolk. But there's a few different versions of it, and it's printed on this beautiful Japanese paper. I'll show you a few of them. And then I'm going to go on to the pastels, and the pastels are an absolute... there's a lot of them, so I'm not going to show you all of them because that will take hours, and a lot of them are pretty terrible, or I've stored them badly and so they don't look great. So I've gone from that to this pretty little one, which is a little garden path. And again, it's got some really nice little colours in it. It's interesting to see how much my style's changed though since I started. So this painting's probably about 15 years old. There's another one. That was a little plein air one, and there's another one under here. Let me see if I can unwrap it. I actually really like this one. This one's actually just painted on sandpaper. The thing with the sandpaper, it works really well, but it does take a lot of pastel to fill the tooth. It can be quite hungry. But I do like the mark, so it's a bit bent there. And this one's about the same age, but they're probably painted on the same day. But I definitely, I don't think you'd see me painting this nowadays. But they are pretty little pastels, and I think framed up they'd be lovely. Okie dokie, so this one has been stored much better, wrapped in glassine paper, and really like this one. When you go through your paintings, you're like, oh, why don't I put that up? I think some of it is with pastels, it's so hard to frame them. You have to sort of double mount them because they drop dust. And this is Bluebell Woods, if you haven't sussed that out. I think you can just see here these beautiful colours that you get with the Unison pastels and with the Senneliers. I think this one's a combination of both, but the colours are just amazing. Love them. There you go. And this one here, it's actually another one of the Bluebell Woods, but much looser. I probably intended to do more on it, so this has been underpainted, you can see here. But I really like these marks here. Okay, so this one does need a bit of touching up. It's just where it's been stored, there's a few marks on it. This one is done in Unison Pastels on, I can tell you what it's on, I think it's the Sennelier. Yeah, it's Sennelier board. And that is, I can't remember, it's one of the Norfolk coastal areas. I can't remember which one because it's quite an old painting. And I really like this one as well. This one's got a lot more texture in the feeling of the dunes. I think what I like about this is the little pops of colour that are in it. It's quite big. It's kind of a 4-3, not quite A2 size. And then I've also got this one. I'm not sure I can get rid of some of the reflection. This one is a little bit less abstracted, and this one is in pastels onto pastel board, the Sennelier Sans-Fix. Okay, so this one's one of my landscapes, and it's painted directly onto ply, and it's in acrylic paints. Big old pile of them. So this one is on board, like a little ply board, and it is an acrylic painting of, I mean, anyone from Cambridge is going to know them, at Anglesey Abbey, which is a National Trust place. I've got another one of these, so let me find it. Here it is. So it's got a slightly different colour palette, and also it's got more texture on. Let's see if I can bring that up so you can see. There's more texture than there is in the other one. I'll put them next to each other so you can see them a bit better. But a bit, I know I've talked about it before, but I do like to paint the same image a few times just to get a feel for the image and sort of add things I like, take things away. But actually I really like both of these paintings. They're just different, and I think they have a different feel. They have like different time of year feel. This one definitely feels more wintry, and this one feels more autumnal. So yeah, I like them both for different reasons. Okay, so this one is from, move that one away. Is from Thetford Forest, and it was a nice early morning. You could see the sun was coming up, and I really like this one. It's very, I mean, I can tell what it is. I think most people, I like to think most people could tell what it is. And the colour set, I really enjoy it. There's little pops here of the green up here, and the mixture of marks as well. And then I've got the other one of this, it's twin. This one is twin. And what's interesting is the underpainting on this one was a fluorescent pink, whereas the other one, I'll bring it back in, was fluorescent orange, and you get just such a different feel with each of them. A bit wobbly there. Okay, now I've got a few seascapes. I feel like that sort of sienna and the green is probably my favourite colour combo. And then you've got the muted sort of lilacs in there as well. So this one is on canvas board that I've done some heavy gessoing on. And a similar colour palette, but a different landscape. What I enjoy with this one is these heavy marks in the foreground, and then you've got these sort of subtle watery marks up here. It suggests where the tide's gone out. And that is also on canvas board, a slightly heavier canvas board. Okay, so this is a mammoth series, so I had to paint this so many times before I was happy with it. This was the first one I did. This is, I can't remember the name of the place. It's on the Suffolk coast near Minsmere. It's a wildlife trust place. I'll find the name of it and pop it on the screen for you. This was the first one I did, and I really like this sort of estuary coming in. But then what I particularly like about this painting, because I've struggled with this, but I really like these areas of water in the background, using the flat, very sort of flat lilacs. And then you've got this sort of touch of light coming through the sky. But I did struggle with this part. Well, I like it. I just think the reeds were maybe a bit too literal, but I wanted something to break up this flat area. So I'll show you the other ones and you can let me know which one you think was the most successful. And again, I like both these two I'm going to show you, but for different reasons. So this was another version of it. I've kept in the flat areas at the back that I enjoyed a lot, but just got rid of this sort of the tributary bit of river that kind of went off to the left there. Went a bit heavier with the mark making, and the sky is obviously, the sun didn't look like that. But I just like the idea of having the big circle, and it's quite near the Sizewell area, and I felt like it was a bit reflective of that. Obviously that's not what Sizewell looks like, but this one was the third one. Now this one had a lot of knocking back. You can see where it's been sanded and pushed back, repainted, sanded, and because of that you get lots of layers of colour with bits poking through, and I really like that. Just feeling it now, it's very smooth. I actually think what it needs is another coat of gesso over the top, just to bring it all together. And then I've got a few more waterscapes. So this one is in oil. It's one of the few I've got in oil actually. I like here, this area where it's gone on very thinly. If I can get it to focus, there we go. And again, with these little glimpses where the light's coming through. Okay. Next up, this one's got a very different feel for it, and I deliberately used a lot of these vertical marks to try and get a sense of the miserable day that it was. It was very wet and grim, and you can see these grey clouds coming across, but also with the feeling of the water and the rain coming down. So I was really pleased with how this turned up. These are all on board, by the way, on canvas board. I've just never got around to framing them up, mainly because I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them. And another one. This one's got a combination of vertical and horizontal marks, and also a few sort of sweeping movements. This one is acrylic on board. And one more for luck. This one's also acrylic on board and is mountains and a big lake. Couldn't recall where. But this one's got a mixture of marks of these sort of vertical and horizontal blocks, and then a few more sweeping motions. I've got another big one. This one's about 4 or 5 foot, and that's painted on MDF. And the birds are stenciled on, so I made a stencil and layered that. So I hope you can see how my style has changed, and if you compare it to like for example the landscape that I did in last week's video with when I did 8 landscapes using the same image, and how my style has changed. I don't want to say I feel proud of how the art is, because actually I think some of my previous art is probably much more accessible and probably more people would like it, particularly some of those pastel paintings, the sort of garden ones and things like that. But I guess I'm proud of it. So I'm such a fidgeter and easily distracted. What are you looking at, Puss? What are you doing? Something caught your fancy? He's having a rummage around on the floor. What was I saying? We were talking about my art, weren't we? So yes, I think what I have learned over the last sort of 15 years of doing these kinds of paintings and transitioning my styles and growing my styles is that I think I'm happier now, or more confident, just drawing and painting things how I like them, or how it's not even so much the end image but the process. So excuse me, sorry, the cat is claiming everything as his, which means treading on everything and knocking everything over. Puss, that's not for you. Can you get down? Down again, please. Get down. Thank you. He's much more obedient than our cats, so that's nice. Oh, and he's gone. Yeah, so what was I saying? Yes, so I think what I do now is, rather than thinking about I must have this painting and it must look like the exact place I've been, or it must exactly look like the photo, what I am more comfortable doing now is just trying to get a feel for the place and reacting to it probably more personally, and maybe using colours that feel, I feel like I'm sounding like a right numpty talking like this. How can I say this without sounding like a wally? I don't know if I can. But for me it's much more about the feelings, and I do want there to be a likeness of the place so that you can recognise it, but it doesn't have to be photorealistic. Sorry, the cat's outside now. I don't think I should record when there's birds or cats around, because I just can't be trusted to concentrate on what I'm doing. Yes, so I think what I'm more comfortable doing now, I feel more able to do, is just to use colours and marks that feel more representational of the place and of my feelings and emotions to the location, rather than it feeling like it has to look exactly like wherever I've been. And when I try to do that, like in some of my sketches I still try to do that, I'm never happy with the end result. So I'd like to think you can see that through the paintings that I've just shown you. I think, I mean, you might not be able to see that, and that's okay. And you might prefer the previous images, but that's okay too. Because mostly I'm painting for myself, and I'm not really, you know, particularly with the landscapes. I have sold a few of my landscapes, the pastel landscapes. No, so I've sold a few of the pastel sort of abstracted landscapes. So therefore I am doing it more for me. So it's a good job I earn money doing something else, isn't it? Okay, I feel like I've talked enough twaddle at you today. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you, I don't think you'll have learned anything today, but I hope you've enjoyed watching it and just seeing about how my art styles transition. Yeah, it'd be really good to see if any of you fancied sharing your journey, your art journeys, and how your styles changed. That would be really interesting to see as well. And then the next one I'm going to do all about birds, so that will be different techniques again. And then I will also do one with just my printmaking in, or I think nearly all of my prints have got birds in, so that might just go into the one about birds actually. So probably it'll be 2 videos, not 3. I really should plan out what I say before I start talking, shouldn't I? Mind. Have a lovely week, and I will see you soon. Bye.